All right, last stream crashed, which was nice. So I'm hoping we've got it going now, uh, and working like properly. Um, I apologize for the issue. Um, Welcome back. Hopefully we have things going. Excuse me, properly right now. But I apologize again for the issues that we faced last time we were streaming. There appear to be more and more rumors of Adley getting traded to Boston, so keep an eye on that. There were rumors of DeGrom to the Braves, but it's being reported that DeGrom has asked not to be traded. Um, so that's looking less and less likely. Um, but as far as I'm aware, the most recent trade is still Hicks to Tampa. I don't know yet if Ray to the Padres has been finalized. That would imply to me that Ray to the Padres has been finalized, or at least is close to it. How you guys doing? How we feeling right now?
We gave up Pete Crow? Oh, damn it. Shit. That's too much.
Fuck. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Shit.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. I'm off. I'm done with the trade now. Now I'm upset.
Oh.
Look, my feelings on the PCA trade remain the fact that Avi was a good Met. Trevor Williams was a good Met. Um, Obviously the Mets lost the trade, but I think people are like the Mets really traded PCA for Avi Baez. Avi Baez was good as hell as a New York Met. The 2021 Mets just sucked. That's unfortunately the reality of the situation. And Trevor Williams was solid for them, especially in 2022 when they were a playoff team. We don't talk about how that went, but in hindsight, would I have rather traded like a Brett Beatty, Matt Allen figure instead of Pete Crow? Yeah, these things happen. These things will happen, especially if you're a buyer. Yeah, I agree 100% with Jolly on this. I so for the record, I thought that the Mets did very well on the Minter deal and did well given the circumstances on the Peralta deal. I think they've done awful with Rayleigh and Brazaban. Like really bad on Rayleigh and Brazaban. I also don't understand why Stearns keeps acquiring outfield prospects. They don't need outfielders. They need pitching prospects. They need pitching prospects and infield prospects, but more specifically pitching prospects. I don't know what the plan is. Once again, I don't understand what he's doing. It's what he was doing was working, it would be a different conversation. Of I clearly am not tapped into things um, that a actual MLB executive is. I don't know that David Stearns knows what his plan is right now. I'm sure he has one, but it doesn't look great at the moment. It really doesn't. Um, I haven't heard a ton of rumors when it comes to Clay Holmes and Luke Weaver, and I'm getting nervous after the Raley and Brazoban deals that the Mets aren't going to get good returns for those guys. I'm really worried about that, and you need, especially after the Brazoban and Raley trades, you need good returns for Weaver and Holmes, and I don't know that that's happening, and that worries me significantly. Because whether we want him to be or not, Stearns is going to be the guy in control going into 2027 if we even have a 2027 season. Thank you, LA. But there's no way Cohen fires Stearns, unfortunately. I believe as one of his biggest supporters when he first came on, I have lost faith in Stearns. The man seems to only go by the numbers, not the intangibles. That's why 2026 has been such a shit show. There are a lot of reasons why 2026 has been a shit show. Also, before I continue responding to that, I believe the Dodgers have made another trade. So let me just check up on that. The Los Angeles Dodgers are acquiring left-hander Chris Bubich in trade with the Kansas City Royals. I'm already confident that they probably didn't give him jack shit. What's his numbers this year? Their numbers, really interesting deal for LA. I'm curious what their thought process on this is. When it comes to the Mets and David Stearns, I'm still under the impression that um, that Stearns wanted to go into this year and rebuild, and that they were just too afraid of doing that, and so they kind of went halfway with things. Um, and that's how we ended up in the situation that we're in. Did my stream just close out again? Please tell me it didn't. I think it's Baseball Reference that's causing it to have so much trouble, so I'm going to close it. But I'm pretty sure Baseball Reference is what's completely fucking up the stream. Let's see if things like are better now that I have it closed. That's really annoying. I'm very sorry for that. Again, though, I think that might have been the problem. Was Baseball Reference, because I think things should be working fine now. Hopefully things are back in order somewhat. Again, I think it was Baseball Reference. I think it was Baseball Reference that, with all like the ads and shit they got on their website, was killing us. I think that's what caused the stream to shut down the first time. Are we back? Are things like back and in order? I'm going to hope the answer to that question is yes. I'm going to hope that the answer to that question is yes. That things are kind of back in order. Yeah, has Milwaukee done anything? Have Milwaukee or Pittsburgh done anything? I don't get it, man. I really don't. Who's gonna compete with LA? Like, who realistically, who's gonna compete with LA? That continues to be my thing. Yeah, I never want to consider the World Series a foregone conclusion. Who's gonna compete with LA? Son of a bitch. I really would have loved if the Mets could have gotten Braden Taylor in the Peralta trade. And instead he's going to Miami. They really got to nail it with the Weaver and Holmes trades, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't even know if we're going to get trades for Weaver and Holmes at this point. Oh, man. Obviously, I have to see the rest of the return for Hicks, but this might be a decent deal for Miami. Man, I wanted the Mets to get Braden Taylor in the Peralta trade. Jacob Kisting, Adrian Santana, and Braden Taylor. Let's take a look here. It's a solid enough deal for Miami. It's certainly not awful. Again, I like Braden Taylor. I would have preferred the Mets gotten him over Aiden Smith, but is what it is. Again, I don't understand what the fascination is with acquiring any outfield prospects. It needs to be pitching and infield. Padres are trading Miguel Melendez and Yoniel Hernandez in the Robbie Ray deal. Are those guys ranked? Oh, wow. Interesting. The Padres are sending their number 4 and their number 9 for Robbie Ray. Wow. I like that deal a lot for San Francisco. You know what that deal tells me though? Is you could still get something for Clay Holmes. You could still get some good prospects for Clay Holmes. David Stearns, pick up the phone. I'm getting nervous. We still have 3.5 hours, but I'm getting nervous. Because it has not been enough from the Mets so far. And arguably the two biggest pieces, Holmes and Weaver, have yet to go. And also, if you're a Yankee fan, how are you feeling right now? You guys haven't done anything yet. I like Garcia personally, but the vast majority of Yankee fans I've heard from have said that they Garcia can't be it. Like, there needs to be more. They still haven't brought in a catcher. They still haven't brought in any pitching. They didn't bring in a right-handed bat for any position. Garcia's a lefty. Sorry, let's see who the Dodgers are sending to Kansas City. In the Bubic deal. I don't even think they're sending anyone from their top 30. Yeah, I mean, Brooks Raley pitched way too well. My boy Addison Reed. Brooks Raley pitched way too well for the Mets, including this season, to give him to a division rival for what felt like a discounted price. I don't really know what to say there. Both the Brazaban and Raley deals were bad. Like, really bad. And I'm not sure I understand the Stearns thought process. Um Carlos Duran. And the Dodgers just aren't giving up anybody. Like, they're just not they're not having to give up anybody in any of these deals. God damn. Still a lot of time to go, folks. Brewers haven't done anything. Pirates haven't done anything. Yankees have not really addressed the big issues. Red Sox seem focused right now on a potential Rushman deal. Has anybody in the NL Central besides the Cubs done anything? Disgrace from Milwaukee that they haven't done a thing yet. Same for the Pirates, but that's less shocking. I mean, selling's never as fun as it's described, but selling an elite relief arm to a division rival for such a low price, just I can't understand it. I really can't. I'm not sure what to say there. I was gonna say, I'm kind of shocked that Billy Amick isn't ranked. I mean, it's nice, it's all right, but it's they got to get something big for Weaver or Holmes. They gotta get something for Weaver or Holmes. Give me something. Give me something to hang my hat on. And by the end of the day, call up Jonah Tong. Call up Jonah Tong and let him start. Rather than giving him the stupid bulk roll that they gave him. I apologize for no new episode today of Views from the Nosebleeds. The podcast will continue. Just with deadline day and today is my birthday, I got plans later. It's just things are busy at the moment. Same for anyone who watches the hour. Both of those will be continuing. It's just been busy. But I it's got to be more. Like it's got to be more for the Mets. And for the record, these rankings can be deceiving, right? Because I'm pretty confident AJ Ewing was on the lower end of the Mets prospect list last year. Guys can move up the list, right? And I'm not saying that because there are names here I really like. Again, Gil Hill and Pitre were both guys I wanted the Mets to acquire. They were on my list. I'll see about pulling that up in a moment. Again, I thought that the Mets might get them in a reliever deal. They instead got them for Peralta, but it is what it is. But I mean, I don't. I guess in fairness, a lot of it has been pitching and infield, but I don't understand the necessity for any outfielders in general. There's got to be more. That's just what it is. It's just got to be more. Yeah, I hope you guys know I was born August 3rd out of respect to Bam. White Sox reportedly still in for a catcher. See, I disagree with this. I don't know if I fully disagree with the grade. Nah, I'd probably be more likely to give him a D plus or like a C minus. It's just collectively, it's been such a disaster from him since 2024 that he needed like an A plus deadline, and that hasn't happened. And I also disagree that Cole Mathis is the best guy that they've gotten. And Cole Mathis is good, but I don't think he's the best guy that we've acquired. Like I think arguing a guy that's still an A ball is the best guy they've acquired is not taking enough of a look into the guys they've actually gone after. No, and this was what I was referencing before. I get this with prospect rankings, and I completely agree. But I agree with this person as well. Like the Rayleigh return is just far too light. Same goes for Brazaban. Padres reportedly still very much active, looking for a left-handed bat. I mean, that's a cool fun fact. I don't know that it makes me feel any better about the trade. That's a cool fun fact, though. I don't know. What is this Mets team going to look like over the next coming days? Do guys get call ups? How have we heard nothing about Tyrone Taylor? He has to get moved, right? There's need for right-handed hitting. He is on fire right now. Nobody you can't find anyone to take a flyer on Tyrone Taylor? And before you say, "Oh, are you going to get enough back for Tyrone Taylor?" Before this hot stretch, before he returned to the team, would you not have said that you would have taken basically anybody for Tyrone Taylor? Now that he's going on a hot stretch that we all know is he's not gonna is not sustainable. Now we're gonna refuse to make any deal for him because it's not enough. I mean, there's still a handful of guys on the Mets that gotta go, like that have to move at the deadline. Again, the Padres giving up their 4-9 for Robbie Ray leads me to believe that the Mets should be able to push a team to give you a decent return for Clay Holmes. I'd like to think you could get a good return for Luke Weaver too, but I'm getting increasingly nervous about returns for relief pitchers right now. This is supposed to be a seller's market. And in my mind, it hasn't been. It has not been a seller's market in the slightest. I think the buyers have done significantly better by a considerable margin at this year's deadline. This is interesting. This is interesting given the fact that it appeared at one point that the Mets were shopping potentially, even just lightly, both Terens and Alvarez to see what the deal was. What I'm assuming happened with Terens, because there were reports of this, is that they view his value as that of a starting catcher because of how strong he is defensively, and they were only going to get a backup catcher's return, and they didn't like that. I do think it's interesting to say, though, that the Mets have no plans to move Luis Terens. If I let me put it this way, if I get the New York Mets have traded catcher Francisco Alvarez notification before I get a Weaver, Taylor, or Holmes notification, I'm gonna break something. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. David Stearns will speak to the media following the trade deadline. Oh, the exact guy I want to hear from. Astros reportedly in on Trevor Larnach. Actually, I am going to want to hear from David Stearns. I'm going to want to hear a lot from David Stearns, especially if certain guys don't get moved. You know what I'd love to hear from David Stearns? I'm resigning from my position. That's what I'd love to hear from David Stearns. Yep, I agree with this individual completely. Once the Tigers caved on Scooble's price, the entire seller's market was cooked. Yep. But you can't blame the Dodgers for ruining things. You're not allowed to do that. Just a fucking travesty, man. Absolute travesty. That's what it is. Yeah, I mean, when you this is actually a somewhat decent, like, this is a somewhat decent analysis. There are issues with it, but the Mets really should have been able to get more for Raley. But the Skubal trade ruined the market. Like, the Skubal trade just killed the pitching market, killed the sellers market just in general. Reports that uh Adley is a Red Sox. Bada bing, bada boom. Very interested to see the return. Adley Rushman, Boston Red Sox. What the hell happened with this Orioles team? Man. It's going to be interesting to see what Baltimore was able to get in return. Talking about the former number one prospect in baseball. You're talking about an interdivision trade. He's got control on him. How much do we think Boston had to give up? Wow. Yeah, the Yankees are getting stomped right now. Rays are making moves, Red Sox are making moves, the Yankees are just completely asleep at the wheel. I mean, I think the reason that the Yankees didn't pull the trigger on this one is they don't have the resources to get Adley. I think we're going to hear that the Red Sox gave up a pretty decent amount here. I want to see if there's any reports yet on the return. I'm not seeing anything yet on Boston's return, the Orioles' return for Rushman. Raley went. I haven't heard shit for Holmes, Robert, Taylor, or Weaver. And if you can't get rid of Robert, that's one thing. But Taylor, Weaver, and Holmes, there should be guys. Oh, shit. Cubs are acquiring Reed Detmers from the Angels. What a deadline. What the hell are the Brewers doing? Like, I'm one of those guys that's like, no matter how much the Cubs seem to do, they end up behind the Brewers. But the Brewers have to do something, right? The Brewers front office can't have that mindset. Wow. I'm interested on the return here, too. So, Reed Detmers goes to Chicago. The Cubs, to be more specific. My apologies. Wow. Moves are happening. And we still got 3 hours. We still got more than 3 hours. Wow. I still have yet to hear anything on the Orioles' return for Adley or the Angels' return for Detmers. Wow. I don't know that the Yankees thought they were getting Adley. The Yankees thought they were getting a catcher. I don't know that the Yankees thought that they were getting Adley. But that's a separate argument. I'm still waiting on returns for Adley and for Detmers because I think that's going to be interesting. I think both of those are going to be really interesting. I'm still not seeing specific returns for Adley or Detmers yet. Two major trades, though. Two major trades. Yankee fans not too pleased with Brian Cashman. Oh yeah, no. Ben Rortvedt for Chase McDermott. Yeah, sorry, I don't have that one on my big board. I should have had that one there. Big deal there. Yeah, I don't know what Yankee fans are so shocked about. They don't have anybody to give up.
Hey, the Red Sox are acquiring three-time All-Star catcher Adley Rutschman in a trade for Baltimore with the Baltimore Orioles. Yay! Good job, Cashman. Not only did you breathe life into the corpse that was the Red Sox, okay, with the damn team, but then you gave them a All-Star catcher and didn't go for it because I guess either the price was too high or the medicals didn't appease the appetite. Yeah! That's where it's at,
Do Yankee fans think that they have the pieces to get good players? Are they aware of the state of their farm system? Are they aware that nobody wants like Jason Dominguez or Anthony Volpe? Are they aware that Spencer Jones isn't real? Like, the only guy anyone wants from them is Lombard, and they're not trading him. Also, if there was an issue with the medicals, that's a thing that I feel like you would... Like, if you're a Yankee fan, you just watched... Obviously, this has nothing to do with medicals, but I'm just bringing up the point of injury. If you're a Yankee fan, you just watch the Red Sox acquire Curtis Mead and then have him suffer a season-ending injury after getting hit on the wrist. Guarantee you, if Adley ends up with an injury early on in his stint with Boston, Yankee fans are going to be laughing about it after, like, crying about the fact they didn't get him. If I'm a Yankee fan, I'm mad that they haven't done anything yet outside of the Garcia trade, but I don't know that this trade would bother me that much, especially since we don't know what Boston gave up yet.
That's a rat! Good stuff. Good for the Red Sox. Good for the fucking Red Sox. Happy for them. Isn't that great? Yes! Yes! Yes, 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 yes.
I met this dude once. Joe's. Outside of Yankee Stadium. I was doing interviews for one of my college classes. And I went to Yankee Stadium before a Subway Series game back in 25. And I think he was recording like a vlog or something. And oh man, I felt like such a dick because I was like, "Hey, I'm recording something for my college class," and he clearly didn't want to do it, but like felt bad saying no. I put him in a really uncomfortable spot. And I feel guilty for that. He's never gonna see this, but Joe's, if you see this, I doubt you even remember that, but I apologize for that. And like I asked him a couple questions. They weren't very good questions either. I asked him like whether or not he thought Judge was the greatest right-handed hitter of all time. I I asked him whether or not he thought the Yankees had made the right decision or whether the Yankees had lucked out on not getting Soto because at the time like Grisham was balling out and Soto was still like figuring it out in a Mets uniform. Don't always love Joe's like takes, and I have my problems with talking Yanks, but he was a very nice guy. And Joe's, if you ever see this, I appreciate your time that day. I apologize for putting you in an uncomfortable spot. But yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know that I feel like Yankee fans can be more upset about this after the deadline. If they don't get their catcher, if they don't get some guys in, yeah, you could be a bit more upset about this. But I don't know that this in particular was the biggest like disaster in the world for the Yankees. I'm still not seeing any return for Adley or for Detmers. Whoa! Orioles are reportedly getting Red Sox #2 prospect Anthony Aison. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm curious if it's if there's more involved in that trade, but wow, wow, that's what I'm saying though. The Yankees don't have the resources to be able to pull off these trades, man. Wow, wow. I completely understand why Orioles fans are pissed and are skeptical. That doesn't bother me because that makes sense. But I think good deal for both sides, to be quite honest with you. Is that it though? Is part of the return? No, so that's presumably not it. What about the Detmers deal? Do we have any news there? Oh Lord. Huge fucking return. Hold on. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. The Detmers deal might not be finalized. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Okay, so I hold on. We're waiting on I want to get to the Red Sox return or the Orioles return from the Red Sox cuz apparently it's like 5 guys, not the burgers and fries. And Detmers might not be uh a Cub. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold the phone. Wow. Holy shit. So look, I understand why you would be upset if you're an Orioles fan, and don't get me wrong, you should be, but that's a hell of a return. They just got the Red Sox #2, #4, #5, and #17. Holy shit! Yankees fans, are you still pissed about this? Like, Yankees fans, are you still pissed about this? The Red Sox just gave up a ton of their farm system for Adley Rutschman. The Yankees had no chance of matching this deal. Not a single chance. Wow. All right, stupid question. If you're a Mets fan and you see this return, would you consider trading Francisco Alvarez? My answer's still no, for the record. But it's seeing this return that Baltimore just got for Adley Rutschman, do you at least listen on Francisco Alvarez? And no, not with the Yankees, because they can't give you shit. I don't want anything from the Yankees. Wow. That's a really good deal for Baltimore. I don't think they should have been dealing Rutschman, but if you're going to, that sweetens it a bit. That is a hell of a return. If this is accurate, I'll wait for like Passan or somebody else to report it. But if this is accurate, this is a stupidly big return for Baltimore. Holy shit. That is just MCR notifications. Yeah, it's not gonna do anything. Wow. I need someone to confirm that. But that's absurd. The Mets genuinely might consider trading Alvarez after seeing that return. That is a berserk return. And there's still multiple teams looking for a catcher, so you don't have to deal with the Yankees if you wanted to trade Alvarez. Oh my God. I can't get over that. That is a great return if that's accurate. Yeah, no, that is wow. Confirmed. That is holy shit. I get he's got control, don't get me wrong, but the Red Sox just gave up the type of shit that Detroit should have had to give up for Scooble. Look at that deal. That's nuts. That's fucking nuts. Wow. All right. Boston, you kind of got to hope he balls. Wow. My God. What are the odds we can get this type of return for Tyrone Taylor? I'm hearing big returns for Tyrone Taylor. Nah, man. But that wow. Wow. Oh shit. We got Weaver news. And it's Pittsburgh. Stearns, don't fuck this up. Please do not fuck this up. I am so down for a deal with Pittsburgh. Please don't fuck this up. Oh. I'm nervous now. I'm nervous. Because there's a chance they don't deal Holmes. So this is the big one. This is the big one if it goes through for the Mets deadline. Oh, they gotta, please, Stearns, I'm scared to check my notifications. I'm really scared to check my notifications. Who did I have on my list from Pittsburgh? I had a lot of guys. I'm sorry, I'm checking my phone right now. I want to check my Google Doc. Oh, man. I'm scared. I'm really scared to check my notifications. Tacoma. Please. There are so many. Murph Gray, Wyatt Sanford. Oh my God. Hunter Barker. There's so many oh, please. And don't fall into please don't fall into the Tamar Johnson scam. We are not trading for Tamar Johnson. Please. Oh, it's passing. It's passing. It's passing. It's passing. It's passing. Fuck. 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 Luke Weaver's a Pirate. Who'd we get? Please. Please. No. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. They can't blow this. They cannot fucking blow this. Please. Oh, shit. I'm really happy with Pittsburgh being the place. I'm happy Pittsburgh are getting their guy. I'm happy because I like Pittsburgh's system. Who did we get? Oh, I'm so fucking nervous. If I see Tamar Johnson, I'm going to be so pissed. Who are the Mets getting? 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 Mets interested in Sammy Stafura. I don't mind it. I would have preferred to have pushed for Wyatt Sanford, but beggars can't be choosers. It's got to be. It's got to be. I'd like it to be more than just Stafura if he's in on it. Who did we get? Who did we get? Who did we get? Who did we get? I don't mean to be this way, but this is like a big deal. Someone post the return. Someone post the return, please. I'm still waiting on a return. Luke Weaver is a Pirate. I don't have a return yet. Let's also, for the time being, put a line through that, because that might not be official. Fuck, I'm so fucking nervous, man. They can't blow this. They can't afford to blow this. Mets receiving Sammy Stafura, so it's not gonna be Wyatt Sanford. I like Stafura. I don't mind it. Is there more? Wow. So, I think the Detmers deal fell through. And now the Cubs are getting Braxton Garrett. Either that or they're doing it on top of the Detmers deal. So let's update this for right now. I'm still kind of focused on who the Mets are getting for Weaver. Don't just be Stafura. Please, please, you got to have been able to get more. Is that it? Is that really it? It's just Stafura? I'm waiting for an update. Please tell me there's more. One of the best relievers in baseball this year has an extra year of control on him, and you got the Pirates' number 9, who's still an A-ball. That's the best we could do? Please tell me there's more. Please tell me there's more. It's just Stafura. Stearns, I will see you in hell. Oh my fucking god, man. How do you give up like a billion guys for Tyler Rogers and then you can only... I don't get it. I don't get it. How is he still the guy? How is he not fired by 6 p.m.? I don't even want to trade Holmes anymore. They're not going to get anything for him. That's it. That's all you could get for Luke Weaver. How? How? How is that all you could get? It's not good enough. I don't know what to tell you, but it's not good enough. Why, man? Your second biggest, if not your biggest domino, just went for a team's number 9, who's still an A-ball. I almost want to trade Alvarez just to feel something. And Alvarez is one of my favorite players on the damn team. But I did... I can't get over that. That's all we were able to get for Luke Weaver. Unreal. It's what it is. Yep. That's all they're getting back. I think the Brewers finally made a deal. Yeah. Dustin May, JoJo Romero to the Brewers. I'm sorry, I'm pissed. Arguably the best reliever on the market. One of the best relievers on the market. An added year of control. And they get one guy for him. And guess what? The amount of teams wanting a starting pitcher, it's dwindling. So guess what's going to happen? The price tag on Clay Holmes, it's going to go down even more. I can't get over that. That's all they got. I really don't know what to say. I really. What is the defense of David Stearns at this point? Truly and honestly, what is the defense of David Stearns at this point? What has he done right? What has he done well? They got one guy for Luke Weaver. They got one guy. The number 9. Pittsburgh's 9. He's an A-ball. They couldn't get anybody else. They couldn't get some unranked Joe along with him. Hope someone at the press conference asked David Stearns how he looks himself in the mirror every night. It started strong. I liked the Minter deal, and I was in the minority on liking the Peralta deal. But since then, it has been fucking embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Nothing from Stearns. Nothing. I think it's telling that Jolly tweeted this out, and now that the return has been announced, he hasn't said anything about it. He's probably pissed too. Or at the very least, disappointed. Unreal. I would love to hear Jolly's thoughts on this trade. It's just a fucking disaster from Stearns, top to bottom. God fucking damn, man. They couldn't get anything else for him. They couldn't get anything else for him. I can't get over it. Arguably their best piece, and they got one guy who's playing an A-ball. What does Stearns do? How does... Are there any Holmes rumors? Is he even getting moved? I mean, no recent rumors for Clay Holmes. Oh yeah, please trade Holmes to the Dodgers. I can't wait to get no ranked prospects from the Dodgers for Clay Holmes. Please, would love that. How does Stearns look himself in the mirror? How do you get one guy in A-ball for Luke Weaver, who has control? I hate David Stearns. I hate David Stearns from the pit of my soul. I defended this fucking dipshit for so long. I defended him going into this season. He has done nothing. I'm not really, I really don't know. It's just, what does he do? What does David Stearns do? What is his purpose? His player development is bad. His player development has been bad. His staff signings have been bad. His free agency signings have been bad. His trades have been bad. What has he done well? Name something he's done well since becoming part of the Mets organization. Name a single thing he's done well. David Stearns, you have ruined my birthday. Ah, man. I don't even want to look at notifications right now, man. I'm just like, oh, it's passing. No, it's just the Brewers deal. Sorry, I'm texting my girlfriend. It's my birthday. She's at work. I'm seeing her later. It's gonna be a lot better than this garbage. Wow. It started really promising, man. I'm telling you, the Scooble deal fucked the pitching market. But, you know, whatever. It's just what it is. I can't. There's no even. My apologies for all the silence, folks. I'm sorry. Boston just did what? Well, that's nice. Sammy Staffer is a diehard Met fan. I'm still not happy about this deal in terms of value, in the slightest. But I will root for Sammy Staffer with everything I've got. I would have done that anyway. But Sammy, you are. My frustration about this deal has nothing to do with you, Sammy. It has everything to do with David Stearns and the fact that he should have been able to get more. I will root for Sammy Staffer with every ounce of my heart. I can promise you that. Anyway, Boston might have just given up their number one prospect for Zach Neto. I don't know if I'm reading that correctly because that seems insane. That they just like completely. There's no way that's real, right? Red Sox. Red Sox Neto. I'm not seeing more on that, but I had seen something about the Red Sox giving up Franklin Arias for Zach Neto, which would be fucking absurd. Oh, Sammy Stafura, I like you, but this is just not a good deal. If Boston really gave up their number one for Neto, that is crazy. I mean, are the Yankees gonna acquire anybody? Like, god damn. This is the cost of doing business within your own division. Yeah, I would have thought so with Brooks Raley, but the Mets got fleeced, so, you know. Wow. That Rushman trade is nuts. Two more hours. Clay Holmes, Luis Robert, Tyrone Taylor. Mainly Taylor and Holmes, because those two have to get traded. I understand if they can't find a suitor for Robert, but Taylor and Holmes need to be elsewhere by the end of the deadline. I think the fact that there haven't been any trades for a couple minutes is a good thing. Slow things down. Take a minute. Breathe. Don't like what's happening with the Mets, but you still have Holmes. You still have Taylor. I wouldn't have kept Weaver. I think moving him was the move, but you needed to get more. I do think the Skubal trade fucked the pitching market, but I don't even want to give Stearns that that excuse. You know what I mean? Stearns' job to get the return. You have a notification from Tacoma. Yeah, right now Staffer rates higher than anyone the Mets have acquired at this deadline. And I kind of think it's going to stay that way. Keep Holmes at this point. Stearns can't trade worth a damn. If you're keeping Holmes, you have to extend him. And Taylor's got to go regardless. Like, Taylor has to go. And if someone's interested in taking Robert, they'll do it, which I'm fine with. Russ, I don't know if you were here, have been here the entire time, but I'm with you, man. What has Stearns been able to do well? He's been bad at signing players, bad at signing free agents, bad at developing prospects, bad at trading. What has he been good at? What has he done right? And I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at 6 p.m. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear, we feel like we got some really good guys. And we've said all along that our goal is to be competitive in 2027. I don't want to hear it. Why didn't you do better? Russ, I don't necessarily even disagree with you, and given the value on the starting pitching market right now, I get it, but I think if you're committed to selling, you got to commit. You can't do this going halfway because now you don't know how you feel about the market. I think you gotta commit. And I think Stearns needs to sleep in the bed that he's made. Reportedly, the Clay Holmes market is still active. D-backs, Brewers, Padres, White Sox, and Braves considered interested. Don't want to trade him to Atlanta. We saw with the Phillies trade that clearly we can't get divisional price tags. I wonder if we could fleece San Diego, but I don't really know if I'm that interested. I don't know who Chicago's willing to give up, and they've already traded one of their guys I had interest in. Would love some guys from that Milwaukee system, but I don't know if they're going to give up any of the good guys. Worst case scenario, Russ, you want my honest opinion? Worst case scenario for me is that they trade Holmes to the Braves and get a Brooks Raley level return. Like, they'll get more than a number 27 prospect for Holmes, but I mean, like, an underwhelming return and he goes to a division rival. Rather than the opposite, like the Red Sox and Orioles did, where you're supposed to get a slightly better return when you're trading with a division rival. That is my worst case scenario, because the Braves don't have a great farm system. They already gave up arguably the main guy I would have been interested in, the pitcher Braun. If I see Clay Holmes to the Braves, I am going to go to Citi Field, and I can't say what I want to do because I'm live and I don't want my channel taken down. But I would want to strangle David Stearns, because I have no idea what the game plan is. I think they're hoping with Stearns that they can push it to the wire and like wait until we're right near the deadline and force a team's hand. But I don't have the confidence in Stearns that he can do that. I think what ends up happening there, if you try pushing it to the last second, is that teams end up pulling out and you just end up keeping Holmes, which isn't the worst case scenario. I'm not arguing that it is, but I don't trust Stearns to force someone's hand right now and force someone to give you the prospect package you want. Stearns has given me no confidence that he can hold the leverage in a negotiation. My argument isn't even that. I don't even think that these prospects can't pan out. Again, I think Stearns has landed a couple of guys that I have excitement towards. It's just, he could do better. We know we could be doing better. It's Stearns and the Mets' chances of that trade happening are 50-50. He doesn't give a shit about rivalries either. Yeah, but he should give a shit about his job and getting back a proper return for his players. That he should give a shit about. Good for the Angels, man. The Angels have been active, and they've committed to selling. They're taking steps in the right direction. And if a Neto to the Red Sox trade happens, they might get some decent guys too. Good for LA. We're nearing 2 hours. It's been a phenomenal trade deadline in terms of like just the league as a whole. Again, things were so slow going into today, and it's been a pretty great deadline. And I think the Adley deal really helped. Like the Adley deal is huge. The fact that it's between division rivals, the fact that it is such a haul that Boston has sent over. And I think it's such a bizarre trade because I don't think either fan base know how to feel. I think Boston are happy that they got Rushman, but are feeling how much they just gave up for him. And for Baltimore, you just got to feel like we've had great farm systems. Adley was part of it, and we couldn't build that into anything. Did they even win a playoff game with Adley? They made it, but I don't even remember if they took a single playoff game while they had him. So I think both teams are going to feel very strange about it. That's a huge deal. And again, if we're talking about pivoting, you got to wonder if the Mets are now reopening discussions on Francisco Alvarez, seeing the price tag that was on Adley. If the Yankees had guys to give up, as much as it would enrage me to see Francisco Alvarez in a Yankee jersey, I'd opened up discussions there because the Yankees are desperate. But the Yankees literally have no one to give up. You'd need to start the discussions at Lombard, and they're not giving him up. Which is crazy because the Yankees don't have anyone else to give up. But I am curious if we hear something about Francisco Alvarez and potential availability in these last 2 hours with teams still wanting a catcher, teams still wanting right-handed hitting, and the amount that Boston just got back for, or that the Orioles just got back for Rushman. You kind of got to think about it, right? I feel like you have to think about it. I mean, I keep seeing this about Luis Robert and Tyrone Taylor, but I hear no rumors about them. I see truly, and I've felt this way for a while, and I feel even more so now that we're 2 hours away from the deadline. I think Tyrone Taylor's a Yankee. He just it just stinks of a Yankees trade deadline deal. They can't get any of the guys they want, and they settle for somebody. And I feel like they settle for Tyrone Taylor and say, well, he's been hitting well recently, and he's a great defensive replacement, and this, that, and the other. I think Tyrone Taylor might end up on the Yankees. I don't know that Robert gets traded. I've heard no interest from any teams on him. And then Holmes, the Mets have to be sure that they're getting what they want for him, the return they want. I will miss Luke Weaver. I will miss Luke Weaver. Lubov is saying a Met question is the Mets do DFA him if they can't trade him. Depends whether or not Taylor gets traded. Taylor will get traded. I think Taylor's gonna be a late trade. Taylor will be taken by a team looking for a bat that can't get somebody else. They'll pivot to Taylor, but Taylor will move. I just don't see Robert moving because the Mets have said going into this deadline they don't want to eat up money from any player's contract. If they were willing to do that, someone would take a flyer on him. But I don't think anyone wants to take on the contract. I remember seeing rumors about Cleveland to have gotten Adele, so they're definitely not doing it now. But the idea that the Guardians were ever going to take on Robert's contract was hilarious. I believe we finally have a return in the Cardinals and Brewers trade. Hold on. Alexander Frias and Josiah Ragsdale. It's going to be a while before Frias is a major league ready player, but seems like a solid deal for St. Louis. again, just while things are kind of quiet on the market, where are the Yankees? They gonna do something? Do they have any game plan? Are they realizing that they have nobody to offer? We are inside the 2 hour mark. We are inside the 2 hour mark. Things are all quiet right now on the trade front. Sooner or later, the Yankees got to do something, right? Like, sooner or later, the Yankees have to do something. Especially with the deadline that the Red Sox have had. Passing. Dalton Varsho to the Astros. Yeah, it's a move. Interesting that the Padres were rumored on this and missed. You have to wonder now if Tyrone Taylor, if the Padres look at Tyrone Taylor after missing on Varsho, likely a cheaper option for them, also gives them good defense, has been a plus bat as of recently. Interesting deal. I think Varsho going to the Astros might benefit the Mets. Again, I think that might open up San Diego to go after Taylor. Potentially. I could be mistaken. Padres want a lefty, though. Still. I mean, who have been the teams that have shown they really want it this year at the deadline? Like, let's ignore LA getting Scooble. They did it because they could. Chicago look like they've gone after both Chicago teams. I was talking about the Cubs, but the White Sox have honestly at least had an active enough trade deadline. And then Boston. But I mean, again, I'm supposed to take the Yankees seriously as these big. They've done nothing. They've done absolutely nothing. not gonna lie. I'm starting to lose steam, folks. Which is crazy because the Mets could have up to 3 trades really left in them. You have to imagine the Yankees do something, even if it's not big. You have to imagine the Yankees do something. Padres still probably got a deal or two in them, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm losing steam, gang. I am losing steam. You gotta assume that the Mets moves make a little bit more sense if they're looking to compete in 2027. Sorry, that the Mets moves make a little bit more sense if they're looking to continue rebuilding in 2027. They don't make sense under the lens of if you're trying to compete. I think I'd like the Mets move slightly more if they went into the next season looking to rebuild and signing some 1 year free, trying to like s- set up for a rebuild year in 2027, which for the record I don't think would be a bad idea, especially if and when it ends up being a shortened season. But be honest with the goddamn fans. Say that's what you're doing. Say that you want to rebuild. And I don't hate that. Russ, I don't know how you're going to feel about this if you're still in here, but I think the Mets should consider rebuilding next year. You want to become the East Coast Dodgers. You don't want to become the Queens Yankees. You don't want to be so obsessed with competing every year that you never focus on building the farm system and you just kind of get by with the best you can do. Take a few years to build the farm system. Take a few years to build the farm system. Don't even worry about competing. You're not doing it right now. You're not competing. The playing the half and half game of we want to compete but we want to build isn't working. So just focus on building. Focus on building the farm, and then once you've got something set up, you're not on some whatever timeline with Juan Soto. He's young. Soto's young. You got time. Build a farm. Fuck this, we want to be competitive. You're not competitive though right now. It's not happening. Build the farm. Spend a year dedicated to building next year. And then go all forward in 2028. Commit to building the farm system. Because this half and half bullshit isn't working. Nearing an hour and a half away. I apologize again that I'm low energy right now. Kind of losing steam. I still think there are trades that'll be made. The Yankees still got to make a deal, and they will. They'll make at least one. It might be very underwhelming, but the Yankees will at least make a deal. Holmes is going. Someone will grab Taylor at the end of the deadline. I don't think Robert is getting traded. I don't think anyone's going to take him. Padres will still look to make at least one deal. Even if they have to overpay for it, the Padres will make a deal. Crazy that there wasn't more from Milwaukee. Deeply disappointing. I agree with you, Russ, to a degree. We've spoken about that. I stand by my statement that Stern's biggest crime this offseason was how he handled the pitching. I was more than fine letting Pete go, Nimmo go. None of that stuff bothered me. It's the fact that he had no game plan when it came to the pitching, especially the rotation. And he kind of just shoved Freddie Peralta into a rotation that didn't work last year and said, fuck it, this is the plan. That said, it just seems so clearly like Stearns wants to create his own team. And if Russ, I'm speaking in the scenario of likely they're not firing David Stearns, right? So if Stearns is going to be here, you can't play things halfway. Just let him do what he wants to do. Let him build a team and see what he can do with it, right? And I don't want that. Like I don't want to trade Lindor in the offseason. I don't want to trade Alvarez in the offseason. But you have to commit to something. Either commit to the Billy Epler style of we're going to throw a fuck ton of money at the big name free agents and see what they can do for us, or commit to building up the farm and trying things the Stearns way. But this half and half, will spend money here and there and we'll do a little bit of young players here and there, but we don't really know what we want to be, and everyone is constantly in disarray, even though the players seem to like the organization, because there's not actually a game plan from within the organization. That's killing them. You have to pick a route. You have to have a plan. You have to have a blueprint, and they don't right now. So if Stern's ideal world is to build his own team, get younger, do this, that, and the other, commit to it. But you can't play this half and half game where you're not getting results on either side, you're not getting a good enough farm system, and you're not getting a competitive baseball team. Choose one. And if Cohen doesn't like that, then Cohen has to have the balls to fire Stearns and bring in someone again like Billy Epler, who's going to do things Cohen's way of throw money at things and see if it works. But this half and half isn't going to do it. Even when they start playing well, this half and half isn't going to do it. It's how the Yankees like to operate, and it has failed them consistently. And they don't have the farm system yet to be the East Coast Dodgers, where they can spend the money and then fall back on a great farm system. And if they have any things that go wrong during the season, they have all these prospects they can afford to trade. They don't have it. They don't have it. They don't have the major league or minor league talent to play the half and half game right now. So you have to commit to a direction. You have to figure out where you want to go. And first, Cohen needs to decide whether or not it's Stearns who does that. And then Stearns needs to decide whether or not he's focused on competing right now or whether he's focused on building up the farm so that they can compete for the future. And both of them have to have the goddamn balls to be honest about what they want. If Cohen truly believes in David Stearns, he needs to come out and say, Stearns is the guy, he's going to be the guy for 2027, and that's that. And then if that happens, Stearns has to commit to what he wants and stand in front of the media and say, this is what we're going to do. I know fans might not be happy about it, but this is what we want. But it starts with having a backbone. And it starts with having a plan. It can't be wishy-washy anymore. It can't be we aim to be competitive, but we're not. You got to pick a lane. You got to pick a lane. Russ, I think you'd be more okay with rebuilding for a year if you trusted Stearns. And I think you're alluding to that in your last comment. Like, I think if you trusted the GM in place, that you'd be more okay with doing just like a year-long rebuild and taking a shot on building up the farm system. I don't think you'd hate that. Because you and I talked about this yesterday. We're both watching this team. We're not having any fun with it. We're watching this team because it's our team. But there's no joy in watching the Mets right now. So I don't think you would disagree with me in the sense that it wouldn't be bad to have a change of pace. It's that neither of us trust David Stearns at the moment, in the slightest, to get that done, to do that properly, to not have that turn into a multi-year, project. I apologize because I have Twitter notifications for My Chemical Romance, who I will be seeing on Sunday. So I see notifications. I'm like, maybe it's trade stuff, and it's not. We're officially an hour and a half away. I honestly haven't seen any news relating to Holmes or to the Yankees. Interesting that Passan's saying that the White Sox still want a starter. I'd throw Terrens into a Holmes deal if it actually made a difference. If we could coerce the White Sox into giving up one of their top prospects, just someone from the top 10, I'm not even arguing like in their top 5 given the returns we've seen so far. If that's what it took, I'd be fine with that. Unless the Brewers are interested in bringing in another starter, I don't really see another suitor for Holmes that I like. That realistically, I still see a deal getting done. I think it's got to be Milwaukee or Chicago. And if Passan's saying Chicago's still in on a starter, Stearns, work with that. I mean, certainly, there's a core to work with. There's absolutely a core to work with. Russ, the reason I'm so intent on selling right now is I want more young pitching, right? You've got Thornton, you've got McLean, you've got Scott. I will continue to say this. I believe in Jonah Tong. The numbers are rough this year. I believe in Jonah Tong. I really do. But we saw in 2015 how much a great young rotation can carry you. And pitching is what's been missing the past 2 years. I would love just an exciting young rotation next year. And give them the full year to hone their skills at the major league level. I want a young rotation next year. I want a young rotation. And I want them to be given the shot to hone their skills at the major league level. I don't want this bullshit we did with Jonah Tong, where we called him up last year because we were desperate, and then shoved him back to AAA this year, and then said, we want you to develop pitches, then called him up too soon, threw him into a reliever role. Their number one prospect. And they treated him like Daniel Zamora. There's just so many docks against Stearns right now. No fun at all. If Cohen brought in a new GM, yes, I would be okay with a year of misery in order to rebuild. But Stearns, yeah, I think we've just lost all trust in Stearns. And it's crazy because we have not been like these guys on Twitter who have hated Stearns since the Alonso thing. You were arguably Alonso's biggest fan, and you understood letting Alonso go, because you understood the thing of if Alonso wanted to be a Met, the Mets had offered him extensions. The Mets had given. Alonso went for the money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you didn't dock Stearns for that. We defended Stearns for a fairly long time, Russ. I feel like we gave Stearns as much leash as any Mets fans could have. And it's just gotten to a point where I just have no trust in him. I can't think of a single element of the organization that he's handled well. I agree that that's what it feels like at this point. That he's throwing darts at a dartboard and hoping something really sticks. So the Mets sent Cash and Luke Weaver for one guy who's in high A. All respect to Stafura. They couldn't get back just anybody? Any second player? Dear Christ. I think Brian Cashman will make a couple of trades. He's running low on time, Sherman. He's running low on time. I'll say this, Russ. We've had a better trade deadline than the Yankees. Thus far, we've had a better trade deadline than the Yankees. That's not saying much. It's like saying we had a better trade deadline than the Rockies, but what a disaster from the Yankees standpoint so far. They have gotten nothing. Meanwhile, the Rays and Red Sox look poised to be the two teams that have said, you know what? We want to actually go out and win the American League. Because the American League is a joke. And I'm so tired of teams just being like, well, since the American League is so weak, we don't actually have to make moves. We could just say screw it and hope we get the job done. I appreciate that the Red Sox and Rays have and the White Sox to a degree, and I might be willing to praise the White Sox more if they make another deal or two. I'm happy to see some teams in the American League saying we actually want to compete for the World Series. We want to take this thing all the way. You need to see more teams like that. And the fact that the Yankees are sitting by while watching their two division rivals at the very least go for it at this deadline. I won't say whether or not I think the Red Sox or Rays have nailed it. We won't know that until much later down the line, especially for the Red Sox, given the details of that Rushman trade. But Yankees have done nothing. I'm going to watch the Stearns press conference, but I don't think I'm going to do that on stream. I think I'm going to end the stream after the deadline, after all the moves have been confirmed. Just because I'm tired, man. I'm hungry, but I don't want to be eating on stream. That feels unprofessional. I don't like being I don't like putting on a tinfoil hat about things, but the Squibble Dodgers deal was an absolute joke. Got the TV on right now, seeing him in Dodgers gear makes me sick. And then, oh, I'm so sad to leave Detroit. You could have signed an extension. This is what you wanted. You knew what you wanted, Scooble. Don't don't try and play the remorseful heel of, oh, I really wanted to be a Tiger, but now I'm a Dodger. I'm gonna make the most of it. You wanted to be in LA. Mets officially announced the Weaver trade. Clock is ticking. Clock is ticking. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a snack and some water. I'll be right back. I'm back. I don't think I've missed anything, but just quick take a look. No, but Russ, if you're still in here, that's why I'm saying if you're the Mets, do you consider moving Alvarez? Guy with control but an injury history. Major upside. Could get a major package in return, but you're taking a risk that he plays to his potential elsewhere. Or do you think even if the Mets got a similar haul for Alvarez that the Red Sox just got for Rutschman, that doesn't really fix things for the Mets? It kind of just saves face for David Stearns and is less about the franchise's future and would be more about protecting his future with the franchise. Whoa, 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 whoa. Holmes and Tyrone Taylor to the Cubs. Holmes and Tyrone Taylor to the Cubs. Reportedly. For Rojas. Oh, shit. Wait, we got Jefferson Rojas? Hold on. I don't hate that. I don't hate that in the slightest. I'm waiting for this deal to be official. Oh, okay. I don't hate that. That's a bit more of the type of return I'm looking for. And that might be the last major Mets deal of the day. Mets trade Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor to the Cubs for Jefferson Rojas. I don't hate it. I do not hate it in the slightest. And there you go. I mean, folks wanted the Mets to land someone. I'm pretty confident Jefferson Rojas is a top 100 prospect. Let me just check this to confirm. He's the Cubs' number 2. Yeah, number 63 prospect in baseball. I still think it's too little too late, but I think you'll take that to a degree, the return at least. I have a feeling that's it for the Mets. I have a feeling that they're not going to get any buyers on Luis Robert. And even if that's not it for the Mets, that's it in terms of the guys that are going to get them any return. I think it's a good return. I'm just underwhelmed based on everything else that's happened today. And the fact they were able to negotiate that type of return for Clay Holmes bothers me even more that they couldn't negotiate a better trade for Luke Weaver with the Pirates organization. I'm confident David Stern should be able to out-negotiate. He gave them money and a reliever with control for one high A prospect. The Mets, though, trade Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor to the Cubs for MLB's number 63 prospect, Jefferson Rojas. Good for the Cubs, man. They're going for it. I feel like it's been a tale of two Sterns at this deadline. And Russ, we were talking about the upside of Holmes. Holmes is likely still a free agent at the end of the year. You could still see about bringing him back. You'll take that. You'll take that. Packaged Holmes and Taylor together to get the best possible return that they thought they could get. I don't mind it. They got some good names at this deadline, but I overall I'm a little bit underwhelmed. But still, a couple names they should be happy about. There goes your answer of whether or not the Mets would trade Torrens to Chicago. I'm curious with Holmes off the market if the White Sox still are going after a starter and who they could even get. And as Taylor comes off the board, I once again ask the question, who are the Yankees going to get? They have an hour. I would love to get a report from someone at SNY or whatnot on whether or not the Mets are still actively shopping anybody or whether or not they're done. Did Tyrone dirty with that photo.
Number 99 on Baseball America's list, and they give up Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor to do it. Clay Holmes had a fantastic year before Spencer Jones broke his leg with a line drive.
Oh, yeah.
The ground ball master will go play in front of the Cubs' elite infield defense and probably be their Game 1 or Game 2 starter in the playoffs alongside Kevin Gausman. Great deal for them. They give up the number 2 prospect in their system, easily the best prospect the Mets have gotten at this deadline. I kind of think this trade is easily the biggest win of the Mets deadline this year. AA for Jefferson Rojas, 800 OPS, almost assuredly will be at AAA when he gets here. The Mets needed a big fish. They finally get it. Also, shout out Tyrone Taylor for skyrocketing his trade value in the last month here. And I think the Mets deadline is probably done. So, pretty good ending.
Luis Robert?
So, also maybe Luis Robert. Maybe.
Down to about an hour, folks, and the Yankees still haven't done shit. I think this really is an interesting part of it. Like, there's clearly a core there. It's just a matter of what they can do with it. Still nothing for the Yankees, by the way, boys. They're thinking about Heliot Ramos. How do the Yankees manage to do this every year? Correct. The fact they ate money on the Weaver deal, the fact he had an extra year of control, it's a really bad return. But getting a top 100 prospect is nice. Again, we're still somehow doing better than the Yankees. Eli White to the Red Sox, for any of y'all that were dying to hear whether or not Eli White would get moved. No, and I feel the same way about Heliot Ramos. Like, they need a righty, so I get it. But is that the deal? Like, does that put you over the line? And, like, we saw in 2015 how much, like, just getting good guys, they don't need to be big splash deals, can, like, impact you, right? With Juan Uribe and Kelly Johnson and whatnot. But we also got Tyler Clippard and Addison Reed, who are locked down in the bullpen. The Yankees haven't acquired a relief pitcher. They were looking for 2 righty bats. They haven't gotten 1. Then again, the Yankees have acquired or will be acquiring Heliot Ramos from the San Francisco Giants. It's something. I doubt that Yankee fans are going to be satisfied, nor do I think they should be in this case, but it's something. Yeah. Want to see what these dudes have to say about Ramos.
Vitello rejected that.
He said that's not true.
He came out pissed. He said, I don't know where they got the report from. It was Apple TV. He was like, it was like he can't do some of it because his back hurts. Okay.
I think I am. But infielders, to me, it's a crazy ask midseason. And to increase heads up on you, we saw in that series with Royce.
I'm not sitting through that right now. Who'd the Yankees give up? Because this is going to be really funny to me if the Yankees gave up, like, something big for them. They really don't have a lot to give to begin with. I'm going to strangle Buster Posey if I see Anthony Volpe or Jason Dominguez in that deal. I'm just telling you right now. Volpe doesn't make any sense, but I could see them taking Jason Dominguez for some reason.